ever had a relationship fail because of the type of content that your boyfriend was watching? I just saw this girl, and I'm gonna tag her below, and she was talking about how she lost her boyfriend to red pill content. Well, I basically lost my boyfriend to manosphere content. And that was the beginning of the end. I didn't know it though. One day, I came home. I was in my vanity room. Okay, I have a room just for myself with my clothes and my makeup. In that room, I have a TV. One day, my ex, he comes in my room where I'm decompressing, mind you. And he goes on my TV and he says, baby, I want you to watch this creator with me, okay?
Listen to the wording of how she's framing things, right? My quiet area, or I'm decompressing, my TV. It seems like she's kind of separating herself from, I guess, her boyfriend at the time to herself, right? There's some sort of separation here. Let's keep going. I might be reading too much into it, but it's just interesting how she's kind of framing certain things here, but let's keep going.
Me and him has been together for about a good 3 years. So I feel like when he was suggesting content to me, it's because he thought that I also might enjoy it. So I said, oh, okay, what type of content does he make? And he says, well, he comes on his platform and he invites women on there and he basically argues with them. And I shit y'all not, the first question that came out of my mouth after he said that was, is he gay? Because in my mind, I don't know an actual real man who goes out about his way to argue with a woman just to tell her about herself. Because in my reality, okay, that don't happen, right? I didn't grow up with men who were around me that did that type of shit. And the ones that did do that type of shit, they were gay.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair representation in regards to the show, because as we know, women were voluntarily calling into the show, right? They were calling in, they were trying to prove their point, how marriage minded and how much of a 10 they are, and they can get high value men when in reality they can't. They were chronically single, so on and so forth. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Samuels was just being completely honest with these women and trying to really help them out to get the outcome, or to be more realistic in regards to their standards and where they're at when it comes to life.
He starts to laugh and he's like, nah, he's not gay. It's just that he likes to debate. He likes to go back and forth with the women and tell them how they're wrong. And I was like, okay, just go ahead and put it on. This motherfucker gonna put on Kevin Samuels. Mind you, I did not know who the hell he was at that point. And most people didn't know who he was at that point because he didn't blow up yet. He puts him on. And mind you, I'm just listening because I'm not watching. I'm taking off my makeup and shit. I'm hearing the content. I'm just like, I look at my ex at one point. I'm just like, can you take him off my TV, please? So my ex just starts to laugh and he's like, oh, what, you don't like him? I'm like, hell no, I don't like him. And then I start to like question him, like, why the f would I like him? So fast forward, me and my ex get into an argument. So we get into this fight and basically he asked me why I wouldn't do something, like, or why I wasn't like taking him serious or paying attention to him about some he was trying to say. I can't really remember, but I told him I cannot take you seriously because you don't pay any of my fucking bills. That's why I'm not taking that you're saying seriously. This motherfucker gonna say, this is why women end up alone. I said, what women do you know that are ending up alone? He was like, that's that I see when I'm watching those videos, because he started to watch just not only Kevin, but he was watching, you know, other influencers who had the same type of content.
AKA he was waking up. He was waking up. Kevin Samuels was shining a light and saying, listen, bro, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. Gotta level up. Gotta level up. So she didn't like that. She did not like that whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if she was leading the relationship. I wouldn't be surprised if she was dictating certain things and she was with him because he was falling in line and, you know, hey, he wasn't really talking back or giving any sort of resistance in the relationship, right? Because the whole point of, you know, the manosphere, whatever you want to call it, is to wake men up to what's really going on. So yeah, it seems like he was waking up. He might have been at a crossroads in his life, wanted to level up, who knows? And, you know, he said to himself, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
So I told him, this is where I had to break it down for him a little bit. I had to hurt his feelings. I didn't really want to do it, but I'm just like, you getting out of fucking hand. Like, you really getting out of line. I was like, I don't know why someone like you is watching content from people like them. You, first of all, don't have the same money as them. You don't have the same lifestyle as them. You don't have the resources they have, and you don't have the platform they have. So why the is someone like you being influenced by someone like that? You, a grown-ass man, almost into his 30s, because at this point he was like 29, 28 or something like that. Almost into his 30s, you're listening to another grown man. You don't have your own ideology set. You don't have your own morals and values to follow. You're letting somebody else that don't even fucking knows that you exist influence you. And you're a grown-ass man. You try to say you're a grown-ass man. That's crazy.
These women get influenced by celebrities all the time. All the time. You got women doing BBLs left, right, and center. Dying. Literally dying to look a certain way and to compare themselves to other women. Women are constantly in competition with each other. Even for her, looking at her page, she just did a nose job. Okay, so she wasn't even comfortable in her own skin. Okay, she didn't even like her nose to the point where she had to do a nose job. So these women are influenced by celebrities. Let's be clear. Cardi B, whoever, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion, whoever. The list goes on and on and on. City girls. So the fact that he wanted to seek information and knowledge, okay, iron sharpens iron, and he wanted to know more about what's going on, right? He wants to know more about female nature, right? And it seems like, based on the relationship that we know so far, seems like she was in control of the relationship. She was dictating a lot of different things. And he probably realized, yeah, this ain't right. Something's wrong here. Something's wrong.
Because, yeah, social media is fun, but I cannot say I've ever been influenced by a creator on here. Because if you're trying to sell me some and I don't want it, I'm going to keep scrolling. If it sounds like something that don't sound right, I'm going to let you know it don't sound right. But it's hardly ever I get influenced by somebody on here. And this grown man wants me to take him serious. The one that's getting influenced by somebody, the one that don't pay bills. You want me to take you serious? What the I said you need to stop listening to the mother, because they got you up. And now you got me up. He just shut the up. He didn't say nothing else.
So is it about the money? Is that what it's about? So if he was paying your bills and all this other stuff, lavish vacations, okay, Don Julio, hookah and crab legs, would it be all good? If he showed sprinkle content, pedestalizing women, giving your last dollar, your last red cent to a woman, would you be happy then? Would you champion and say that you found a real man, right? Run to the group chat and talk about how much of a real man he is? I guarantee that would happen, right? If he was showing sprinkle man-hating content, she probably would be all over it, right? She would be smiling from ear to ear.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk to you when I get home. And I hung up, and that was the end of that conversation. I should have known that that was going to be a problem. Okay. Now, another thing too, if you have a boyfriend that has, and this is not all of them. This was just the one that I had. And there are many others that are like him. Okay. So please don't get this confused. Do not run with this. Okay. Sometimes men, where they have an absence of a father in their life, if he sees a man talking about things that other men respond well to, then he will also try to adopt their ideas, adopt that behavior. Because they think that a man is teaching them something that they don't know. Because they didn't have one growing up. So now they're looking for that. Is what I'm trying to say. I hope I said that right. My thing is this though, if you're going to listen to them type of people, you got to make sure everything else in your life matches up with them too. Okay, not just your mentality about women. You got to make sure your finances match up. You got to make sure your looks match up. You got to make sure all the decisions that you make in your life got to match up with theirs too. See, it's more than just having, an influenced mind, right? If you really feel like how that person feels and you want your life to reflect that, you want to move how they move, you got to have your whole life looking just like how theirs look. And his life wasn't looking like that. Okay, like I said, he wasn't doing anything other than the bare minimum. And I really do feel like that was the beginning of the end. tip of the iceberg.
All right, guys, so there you have it. So let me know what you guys think about that. I was trying to let the video play out here as long as possible, but everything is wrong here. Everything is wrong with this video. And towards the ending, she mentions, oh, well, you know, he should be viewing content based on his current circumstances. And my response to that is, if you're broke, you would want to watch content about being financially free, right? You want to align yourself with where you want to go, not necessarily your current position, right? And he was probably realizing, my current position, this ain't it. This ain't it. I wouldn't be surprised if she was controlling every aspect of the relationship, and his testosterone was probably dipping. It was probably going down. It was going down. And he was saying, yeah, wait a minute. This ain't it. This ain't it. Something got to change it. Something got to change. And he was in a relationship for 3 years and he probably couldn't take it anymore, right? Her bad behavior was probably getting out of control. I wouldn't be surprised if she was talking to him any which way, shape, or form, any way she felt like it. And enough was enough. Enough was enough. He wanted to hold you accountable in the relationship, and she couldn't stand it. I guarantee if he was showing sprinkle content, she would consume that and eat it all up. Eat it all up, okay? Content that wasn't holding her accountable and giving her all the benefits in the relationship. Yeah, I guarantee she would consume that, no problem. But let me know what you guys think about this one. Give me some feedback, and until next time.